Good morning. On behalf of the 2nd Mission Support Group, welcome to Barksdale Air Force Base and the 2nd Force Support Squadron Change of Command ceremony. I am Senior Master Sergeant Zach McKinney, and I will be your narrator for today's ceremony. First, some comments on military protocol and ceremony etiquette. During the ceremony, you will be given cues on when to stand and be seated at the appropriate times. During the playing of the national anthem, military members should stand in the position of attention and not render a salute. We invite our civilian guests to join us by standing and placing the right hand over your heart. Additionally, all military personnel should stand in the position of attention during the presentation of the Meritorious Service Medal and the Change of Command ceremony. Finally, we request all electronic devices be turned off or set to vibrate for the duration of today's ceremony. Thank you. During today's ceremony, Colonel Randy White-Cotton will transfer command of the 2nd Force Support Squadron from Lieutenant Colonel Ronnie R. Walden to Lieutenant Colonel Jamie S. Gegg. The change of command is an official, formal, and brief ceremony deeply rooted in military tradition. The primary purpose of a change of command is to allow subordinates the opportunity to witness the formality of command change from one officer to another. The ceremony itself is simple and direct. The guidon exchange represents the transfer of responsibility, authority, and accountability for the mission, airmen, and families of the 2nd Force Support Squadron. The COVID-19 situation presents us with many unique challenges. However, our objective today is to continue the change of command tradition while recognizing the new constraints of the current world. The presiding officer for today's ceremony is Colonel Randy C.A. White-Cotton, Commander, Mission Support Group, and he is joined by his spouse, Mrs. Rebecca White-Cotton. We are honored to have many special guests in attendance. Please hold your applause until all guests are announced. Commander, 2nd Bomb Wing, Colonel Michael Miller and his spouse, Mrs. Monica Miller. Vice Commander, 2nd Bomb Wing, Colonel Scott Weiermuller. Command Chief, 2nd Bomb Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Travis Chaddick. Director, Manpower, Personnel and Services, Air Force Global Strike Command, Colonel Donna Pike. Chief Enlisted Manager, Manpower, Personnel and Services, Air Force Global Strike Command, Chief Master Sergeant Donnie Brown. We extend a warm welcome to Lieutenant Colonel Walden's family. Spouse, Elizabeth Walden. Daughters, Reagan and Riley. Parents-in-law, Mr. Joe and Mrs. Liz Cias. Lifelong friend, Deuce Sinagra. And via live stream, Mother, Marie Walden, brother, Jason Walden, and brother-in-law, Robert Cias. We also welcome Lieutenant Colonel Gegg's family, spouse, Joey Gegg, their daughters, Aurora and Anya, and via live stream, parents, Jim and Star Ward, in-laws, Larry and Connie Gegg, and mother-in-law, Cecile Gegg. Finally, we welcome all commanders, directors, squadron commanders, chiefs, civic leaders, spouses, friends, members of the 2nd Force Support Squadron, Team Barksdale, our community partners, and everyone joining us on all social media platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem and the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we
The 2nd Mission Support Group Chaplain, Chaplain Kowski, will deliver the invocation.
I invite you to join me in a moment of prayer or meditation. Almighty God, provider, protector, Father, we invoke your presence and your blessings upon this milestone in the history of 2nd FSS, when the mantle of leadership is passed from Lieutenant Colonel Walden to Lieutenant Colonel Gay. Lord, I thank you for Lieutenant Colonel Walden. You put him in the right place at the right time. Under his leadership, we've stayed well-fed, in shape, and socially engaged with morale-boosting activities. Thanks for his joy and his attentiveness to our needs. Bless and protect Elizabeth, Reagan, Riley, Lizzie, and Joe during this transition. For Lieutenant Colonel Gay, we ask for wisdom and courage to make wise decisions for us. May she always strive to assist every member of this squadron in carrying out their work in a meaningful way. Thank you for allowing her to come to us. And bless her, Joey, Aurora, Nanya, during this new phase of life. Most of all, Lord, thank you for this great country we are privileged to defend and the freedom we have to invoke your holy name. You who live and reign forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Kowski. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The Commander, 2nd Mission Support Group, Colonel Randy Cotton.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2nd Force Support Squadron's Change of Command ceremony. This ceremony welcomes our guests and the Gegg family and recognizes the leadership and accomplishments of Lieutenant Colonel Ronnie Walden and his family. As we transfer the mantle of command today, I'd like to start by recognizing our distinguished guests, Colonel Miller, Monica, you too, Colonel Macho Weyermuller, Chief Chaddock. Chief, welcome to the 2nd. First day on the job, thank you for coming. Chief Prince, Colonel Pike, and Chief Brown of Global Strike Command, A1. Our very own, I don't see her right now, there she is, our very own graduated 2nd Mission Support Group Commander, Colonel Sarah Ann Custer and Carla Jordan, thank you for coming. Fellow group commanders like Colonel Mike Colvard and Colonel Eric Schroeder, thank you for coming today. Squadron commanders, first sergeants, leaders of the Force Support Squadron, friends, and especially the men and women, the airmen and civilians of the 2nd Force Support Squadron. So many great people here today. Additionally, it's my pleasure to formally recognize Ronnie's family. His lovely wife, Elizabeth, who grew up locally and graduated prestigiously from the Louisiana State University, LSU, and is now a practicing speech pathologist downtown and soon to be practicing in Washington, D.C. Together, but largely during the past 2 years under Elizabeth's energy, they've raised 2 wonderful young ladies, 2 daughters, Reagan and Riley. Thank you for coming. Great to see you. And in fact, Reagan and Riley have embraced their dads and their moms' dedication to Barksdale Air Force Base by working and volunteering on base and also in the squadron, in addition to being very active in the local community and in their schools. Ronnie's in-laws, Senior Master Sergeant retired and Mrs. Joe Cias, who live nearby. I'm sure after 5 assignments at Barksdale, you're sad to see them go, but I know you'll get to see them again soon when you go visit in Washington, D.C., but thank you for coming today. And then family friend, Deuce, what a great call sign, Deuce Sinagra, from local town of Benton. Thank you, lifelong friend, I understand, of Ronnie's. And then attending virtually are Ronnie's mom, Mary Walden, his brother Jason, and brother-in-law Robert Cias. I want to call out his mom, Marie. Thank you, ma'am. I know you're watching virtually. Thank you for raising such an honorable and dedicated leader that we have and such a public servant as Ronnie. So thank you. Today is both a sad day, but also an awesome day. As Ronnie, Elizabeth, and the girls prepare to PCS back to Washington, D.C., we get to pass on publicly our great appreciation to a commander who's dedicated probably 25 hours a day, if there were 25 hours a day, to leading his squadron and delivering an amazing litany of accomplishments while overcoming some great adversity. In a few moments, we will hear some of those major feats that Lieutenant Colonel Walden led his team to accomplish when we read the declaration. Having just taken command a little over a week ago, this weekend as I reflected on the declaration citation that Colonel Custer had written, and as I did this, Ronnie and his team on Saturday afternoon interrupted my thoughts by visiting my office in person. Of course, they were wearing masks, COVID masks, in order to continue serving the base community. And I share that story because as Ronnie's interruption, it reflects the extreme dedication that Lieutenant Colonel Walden continued to display and exemplify, not only through the weekend, but up till the last minute. This morning, I think we left the CDC at about 7:55. That dedication and that example just shows what a great warrior that we have. I reflected on all the trials and tribulations that these FSS warriors have faced and overcome together, truly delivering their motto of FSS, we fuel the fight. They delivered that to our airmen, to our families, and our retirees across the installation and into the community. Ronnie, not only did you embrace Colonel Miller's 3 priorities of mission, airmen, and family, from the moment you arrived at Barksdale, which I may say, I guess, your 5th time during your 27-year career as both an officer and enlisted Air Force member, that your 550-person squadron has benefited tremendously from your dedication to mission, airmen, and families. But so has Barksdale Air Force Base. And you've truly tackled what your mission support group commanders have tasked you to do, have asked you to do, and that was to take ownership and to deliver from your airspace. And for that, I thank you. When I asked Ronnie what he was most proud of from his time in command, he highlighted 5 huge accomplishments. And I'm going to share those with you, just to demonstrate the qualities of Ronnie as both an individual and as a leader. The first one was innovatively delivering during exercises Global Thunder and Bayou Vigilance, 24-hour alert kitchen operations. And that was for the first time in 20 years, feeding 1,500 personnel during that time, during those exercises. This ultimately helped in the validation of STRATCOM's strategic deterrence mission construct. Additionally, Ronnie and the 2nd Force Support Squadron fueled the largest bomber task force in 28 years. They bedded down, they tracked, they fed, they established MWR events for nearly 500 personnel, enabling 43 sorties and showcasing Global Strike's capabilities and the fight the base construct. Additionally, Ronnie led his squadron in executing a $3.6 million operations and maintenance budget, securing additional dining facility, fitness, event center, and customer service equipment by a factor of 30, increasing quality of life for nearly 25,000 personnel. He also led casualty, mortuary, and honor guard operations, supporting a base population of 40,000 personnel to include our retirees, our Gold Star families, grieving families, and airmen. And he did this with empathy, caring, and benefit support. Of course, he didn't do this by himself. He enlisted the amazing force support team that he has. Additionally, the President of the United States order was received, lethality was enabled, and 400 plus personnel were processed for the B-52 combat deployment to an undisclosed location, first time in 14 years, delivering a deterrence from the Iranian threat. Lastly, I want to highlight one that's probably the most difficult and challenges us up to currently today, and that is taking the frontline lead for the COVID-19 war, which has included serving as the information conduit between public affairs and public health, providing childcare, food, fitness, and resiliency programs, all the while striving to keep our personnel safe, active, and connected. And this incredibly difficult and important accomplishment is ongoing and cannot be understated. So Ronnie, I'm so very proud of everything you and your FSS team has done, what you've accomplished over the past 2 years. I wish you and Elizabeth, Reagan and Riley, some happiness, some R&R, most importantly, get some R&R as you transition back to the Joint Staff at the Pentagon. This will be your second time going to the 5-sided building. You're going to enjoy, I think, a little bit of slower pace. But I also look forward to your return to Barksdale in 2 years for your 6th assignment, and what I expect to also be as Colonel Walden. And you could very well be my replacement, you know, so as the 2nd Mission Support Group Commander. No pressure there, Ronnie. So I hope to see that very soon, Ronnie. And the second reason that this is an awesome day is we get to praise the Walden family for all that they've done. And we also get to have the pleasure of welcoming the Lieutenant Colonel, welcoming and introducing Lieutenant Colonel Gegg, but also her family, to the 2nd Bomb Wing family. I'd like to introduce Jamie's spouse, Joey, their daughters, who are adorable, and they're great dog watchers that I know from being their neighbor at the family camp. Aurora, who's age 4, and then Anya, who's approaching the age of 2, maybe going on the age of 20. And they're extremely adorable and engaged. But as I said, not only are Aurora and Anya adorable young ladies, they're great neighbors, and they're going to be great members of the Force Support Squadron. They're going to be great members of the larger Barksdale team. And Joey, who is a veteran mechanic, so for the maintainers in the crowd, Mike, and on the vehicle side, you may have a future team member with all of his experiences working on various size engines. And I know Jamie and Joey, not only do you form a great team supporting your family, supporting your daughters, but also your extended Air Force family. And I'd also like to recognize Jamie's parents, who are attending virtually as well, Jim and Star Ward, their in-laws, Joey's parents, Larry and Connie Gegg, as well as family Cecil Gegg. Jim and Star, speaking to you remotely, you clearly did a superb job raising your daughter, first as a Security Forces Airman turned Force Support Officer, and now Commander. So thank you, Jim and Star, for what you've done in raising your daughter. The Barksdale mission demands a graduated squadron commander who can hit the ground running. And you have the high stratifications on your records, Jamie. Your skills demonstrated by your previous Force Support Squadron Command at Mildenhall Air Base in England, from your Air Command and Staff in residence education, from your home station and deployed experiences. Not only do you have the right pedigree, you have the right experiences, and you're going to be tested right off the bat, as Ronnie can attest to. But I know you will succeed in doing that, as long as you remember that it takes a whole team to do what you need to do. Jamie, we tell our inbound commanders this, that you will never have enough resources to do all of the things we ask you to do. But Jamie, you are a proven leader, and you're the right officer for this extremely tough command, which, as I've seen several times over my vast 1-week experience, it's further complicated by COVID-19. But I also know that you're going to hit the ground running, and you're going to work through some of those same challenges that we face as a nation and as an Air Force, those societal changes. But you're going to lead, and you're going to lead with composure. I've already seen it. Command is a great leadership opportunity only given to those with the proven track record. Command is a tremendous responsibility, and I know, Jamie, that you will take care of our airmen and our families. And I'm certain Jamie will set clear expectations for her airmen, empower her airmen to the best of their ability, and ensure her airmen have a positive and professional work environment in which to accomplish the mission. So welcome to the 2nd Bomb Wing, Jamie and Joey. We are truly blessed to have you as a command team. I wish you both the best of luck, and I look forward to getting to know you as a family. Again, Lieutenant Colonel Walden, thanks to you and Elizabeth, Reagan, and Riley for all you've done for our Barksdale family. So in the words of General Ray, do the best that you can do with what you've got. So now let's get back to getting the mission accomplished, get the show on the road, and back to work supporting Team Barksdale, enabling the mission, and as our FSS team members do, fueling the fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Whitecotton. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Whitecotton presents the Meritorious Service Medal to Lieutenant Colonel Walden. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the Meritorious Service Medal to Lieutenant Colonel Ronnie Walden. Lieutenant Colonel Ronnie R. Walden distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 2nd Force Support Squadron, 2nd Mission Support Group, 2nd Bomb Wing, Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana. During this period, Colonel Walden's tireless leadership and boundless efforts drove an increased quality of life for all Barksdale Airmen. He completed a $4.3 million family camp expansion, remodeling of the base event center and golf course clubhouse, and inspired his airmen to install 2 new fitness center floors, saving over $100,000. In addition, looking to the future, he assessed the aging lodging facilities and gained Air Force Services Agency's buy-in for a new $61.3 million facility. He led his team in support of the largest bomber task force deployment in 29 years to test the fight the base concept. Specifically, he led bed down and feeding operations, personnel accountability, and stood up a deployed morale and welfare event center hosting over 450 events, enabling 43 sorties. Furthermore, he led his team during the reception and support for multiple natural disasters, including hurricane evacuations into Barksdale for 6 wings, 492 personnel, and 181 aircraft, which secured over $5.1 billion in assets. Finally, his team won Air Force Global Strike Command awards in 5 categories, contributing to selection of the 2nd Bomb Wing as Air Force Global Strike Command's Fairchild Trophy for Best Bomb Wing. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Walden reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Thank you, Colonel White-Cotton. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Lieutenant Colonel Ronnie R. Walden, Commander, 2nd Force Support Squadron, will now make some remarks.
Thank you, Senator McKinney. Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with me for just a moment. One thing I can say that I'm leaving with that I didn't have prior to getting here and taking command of the 2nd Force Support Squadron is a little bit more of this and these here. Colonel and Mrs. Miller, Colonel Weiermuller, Colonel Custer and Ms. Carla, Colonel Pike, Chief Chadwick, Chief Brown, Chief Prince, Mr. Flowers, Ms. White-Cotton, group commanders, fellow squadron commanders, distinguished guests, members of Team Barksdale, family and friends, and especially the men and women of the 2nd Force Support Squadron. Thank you for being here today or tuning in. I'd like to extend a sincere welcome to the Gegg family. I know you being here, whether in person or in spirit, means a lot to Jamie and the men and women of the 2nd Force Support Squadron. Lieutenant Colonel Gegg, welcome to this phenomenal base, this phenomenal mission, and this phenomenal squadron. You're inheriting an exceptional mission and service. Give this team your lefts and rights, and they'll amaze you each and every day. Before getting any further, I'd like to thank Captain Lacoste and the protocol team, Mrs. Janice Jones, my BFF, my longtime BFF. We go way back. Master Sergeant Ackley for putting this event together. In addition, thank you, Senior McKinney, for being narrating today's event, and Chaplain for the invocation of those inspiring words. Colonel White-Cotton, I greatly appreciate you presiding over today's event. I know you've only been in the seat for a little over a week. Nonetheless, already had an opportunity to spend some quality time together, because guess what? FSS happens. Each and every day, FSS happens. Thank you for your candidness and willingness to be available, even at midnight, to work through recent events. Colonel Miller, you have put the MSG in very, very good hands. I want to take a moment to thank my God. Without him, I am nothing without him. With him, this small town Georgia guy stands before you today, blessed and highly favored. If you're looking for answers to navigate this world that we live in, I'd recommend starting with him. Colonel Custer told us to own our airspace, and as a commander, I feel I've done that as the Force Support Squadron commander. Even though there were countless MiGs, enemy MiGs, day in and day out, working to take over my airspace, Nonetheless, in addition to the 2nd Force Support Squadron airspace, there's another airspace that would have been decimated had it not been for my wingmen, Elizabeth, Reagan, and Riley. For those who don't know, Elizabeth and the girls are my kryptonite when it comes to public speaking, so bear with me for just a second. Elizabeth, thank you for owning your airspace. And keeping our home safe and secure. And connected. You have kept our girls engaged, transporting to school, sports, friends, family, church, all while juggling a job yourself. Thank you for your love and your patience, your understanding. Even when my I'll be home in 10 minutes turned into usually an hour and a half, 2 hours. You personify grace under fire, and I'm blessed to have you in my life. I love you. To my girls, Reagan and Riley, thank you for your sacrifices so that I can serve. You both are growing into beautiful young ladies, both inside and out, and I pray you always are clothed in strength and dignity, and that you always laugh without fear about your future. I love you. To my mom watching, thank you for being such a big part of who I am today. Your love and dedication has always been inspiring, and we didn't have much growing up, but you ensured that we had what we needed, and for that I'm forever grateful. Papa Joe, Mimi Liz, thank you for adopting me into the CS family 18 years ago, and for filling the gaps over the last 2 years to keep their family on track. Your dedication, love, and devotion has been incredible, and I cannot thank you enough. To Mr. Flowers, my friends, the Sinagras, Smiths, Deuce here, the Stoltz, Alvarez's, First, Dardens, and hundreds of more, thank you for your friendship and your prayers over the last 2 years and taking care of my family. I apologize I couldn't be as available this last couple of years. Nonetheless, I'm better because of you. Colonel Custer, now, thank you for your leadership, your mentorship, your top cover, and evident passion for the men and women of the 2nd Mission Support Group and their families. You left it all out there, keeping your mock up, and you dominated your airspace. You gave me your eye vectors and let me run, and I hope I met your expectations. Godspeed to you, Air Force Global Strike Command. They are very blessed to have you. Colonel Pike, thank you, ma'am, for always being a phone call away and just being there and just having those inspiring words and the listening ear at the end of the day when I just needed to unload a little bit. Thank you. As I relinquish command today, I stand before you both humbled and honored to have served with the most exceptional Big A Airman, military and civilian in the Air Force. Colonel Miller, I think I've heard a couple of other squadron commanders here say this because we heard it quite often from you, but you always said that command is a team sport, and man, how I've loved being a part of this team. I could have not picked a better team, a wing commander, vice commander, command chief, group commanders, squadron commanders, superintendents. It's just amazing how each and every one of you, and watching this squadron come up, this base come together and just support the mission and ensure things happen day in and day out. It was incredible to watch. To my fellow squadron commanders, thanks for providing a listening ear and providing advice when I was at my wit's end. Thank you for your engagement when things got stuck, being able to pick up the phone and getting them unstuck, and for being there and just being a friend and having someone who understood to lean on. To my flight chiefs and superintendents, you guys made the mission happen every day, from gifts, good ideas, to audits, to just the daily operations. You kept the squadron running on all cylinders. Thank you. Miss Cat, let me be very clear. Thank you for your passion for the Force Support Squadron and your efforts and behind the scenes and just keeping things moving along. Chief Hartson, Master Sergeant Withers, Master Sergeant Watson, who's now deployed, you are proof that God listens to prayers. Again, I didn't think I was going to get there, Chief, but thank you. You answered mine when you guys showed up to the squadron. Lieutenant Colonel Gegg, you have two rock stars in Chief Hartson and Master Sergeant Withers. And they will keep you in check, and I can say without a doubt they will work hard every day to take care of you in the squadron. I'd be remiss if I left out Senior Sharp, Senior Simmons, Senior Bratton, Master Sergeant Bradley, Master Sergeant Oliver, Master Sergeant Hawkins, and the other senior ACOs that filled the gaps when the chiefs and shirts were out and about and had to take a knee or something else. And the other senior NCOs, thank you for helping me lead the squadron. I could not have done it without you. To my OPSOs, Major Bland and Captain Carper, I know working for me could be a little challenging considering my OCD tendencies. Nonetheless, you adapted and kept operations moving. Thank you. To the Readiness, Mortuary, Casualty, and Honor Guard team, you guys personally dedicated, you guys personified dedication, honor, and dignity. Over the last 2 years, your services have unfortunately been needed way too many times. Nonetheless, your professionalism and your selfless efforts in fulfilling our nation's most sacred commitment of ensuring dignity, honor, and respect to our fallen, and care, service, and support to their families is awe-inspiring. Thank you for a job extremely well done. Second Force Support Squadron team enablers, thank you for your hard work and dedication to the Barksdale Airmen, their families, and its mission. You epitomize selfless service in that you serve and enable those who serve. It has truly been an honor to serve with each and every one of you and watching you fuel the fight day in and day and night, and all day and all night, especially over the last 6 months. Without fuel, jets don't fly, and without you, this mission doesn't happen. You were and are at the tip of the spear with this war on COVID-19. You have not taken a knee and have selflessly stepped up each and every day to ensure the 2nd Bomb Wing was, is, and will always be ready to put warheads on foreheads. As General Ray said, and I quote, 2nd FSS rocked it. Keep your mock up and keep charging. The Force Support Squadron and this base mean a lot to my family and I. Nonetheless, I know the squadron will be in great hands with Lieutenant Colonel Jamie Gegg and her family. You are taking command of an exceptional squadron. Take care of them and they will definitely take care of you. I know you will lead them to bigger and better things. Congratulations to you, and I pray you and your family all the best as you start this command here at Barksdale. And with that, God bless, Godspeed.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Walden. On behalf of the men and women of the 2nd Force Support Squadron, I would like to thank Mrs. Walden for her support and outstanding service to the men and women of the squadron and Team Barksdale. We extend our best wishes to the Walden family as they depart for new adventures in Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the change of command ceremony. The Guidon Exchange represents the transfer of authority, responsibility, and accountability for the mission, airmen, and families of the 2nd Force Support Squadron from Lieutenant Colonel Ronnie R. Walden to Lieutenant Colonel Jamie S. Gegg. The Guidon bearer is Chief Master Sergeant Nakia Hartson, Squadron Superintendent. Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Headquarters, 2nd Mission Support Group, 2nd Bomb Wing, Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana. Special Order Number Golf X-Ray 043, Lieutenant Colonel Jamie S. Gegg assumes command of the 2nd Force Support Squadron from Lieutenant Colonel Ronnie R. Walden, effective 20 July 2020. Signed, Randy C.A. Whitecotton, Colonel, United States Air Force, Commander, 2nd Mission Support Group. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my honor to present the commander, 2nd Force Support Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Jamie S. Gegg. Lieutenant Colonel Gegg will now make some remarks.
Thank you all very much. I can't tell you what an honor it is to be standing here today. Thank you, Senior McKinney. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize everyone responsible for putting this ceremony together. I recognize the tremendous effort, detail, and time that goes into orchestrating and perfecting events such as these. Everyone from our lead project officer, Captain Lacoste and his team, to our protocol specialists, to our chaplain for providing the inspirational prayer. You have all done a truly amazing job. Thank you for making today's ceremony absolutely perfect. Colonel Miller, Colonel Weinmuller, Chief Prince, Colonel Pike, Colonel Custer, Chief Brown, Colonel Whitecotton, and Mr. Kevin Flowers, group commanders, fellow squadron commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, honor guests, and of course the members of the 2nd Force Support Squadron. Thank you all for being here for today's ceremony. I am humbled and honored by your presence and to be joining the Stryker community. To my family, Joey, you are my best friend and my most trusted confidant. I wouldn't dream of tackling any assignment, most especially this command, with anyone else by my side. Thank you for your always sound advice and for making it fun. Aurora and Anya, my little social butterflies in the light of my life. You have both continued to wow me with your resilience, your infectious happiness, your energy, and ability to accept and love everyone you meet. If you have yet to meet them and receive your free hug, well, you will soon. Thank you three in advance for your love, support, and for keeping me grounded. I love you forever. To my friends, family, and mentors who demanded to watch this ceremony and refused anything other than compliance upon request, thank you for the encouragement, support, and sound advice. You are some of the best parts of this wild ride I affectionately refer to as my Air Force career, and I certainly would not be here without you. Colonel Whitecotton, thank you for the kind words. I would also like to thank both you and Colonel Miller and Colonel Custer for placing your trust in me and giving me this opportunity to join the team here and lead the mighty FSS. Ronnie, you had me with your speech. I was doing well, but you hit me right here. This squadron, this entire installation was so very lucky to have you. I've had the opportunity to witness firsthand your passion, dedication, and the love you have for your family, as well as the mission here. I promise you, you're leaving them in good hands. I will work as tirelessly for them as you have, and strive to continue enhancing the mission to support our airmen and our families. I wish you and your family the best of luck as you take on DC. To the men and women of the 2nd Force Support Squadron, thank you for your continuous tireless efforts, dedication, and willingness to serve this incredible installation. The community here thrives because of everything you do every day. I promise to give you my very best and to serve you and the mission with the utmost enthusiasm and passion so that as a team, we can continue to bring the best to the Stryker community. You are my priority, and I'm very much looking forward to meet you all and getting to know you all. Once again, my family and I are ready for the challenge of command. It is a privilege and a blessing to be here and to be given the opportunity to lead in and serve the best wing in the Air Force. Thank you all.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Gegg. On behalf of the men and women of the 2nd Force Support Squadron, I would like to welcome her spouse, Joey, and their daughters, Aurora and Anya, to our Force Support Squadron family. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. We regret we will not host a reception due to current Air Force social distancing guidelines, but please join us in welcoming Lieutenant Colonel Gegg and her family as you depart while observing the 6 feet social distancing rule. Please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party and family. Thank you for attending today's Change of Command ceremony, and have a great day.